Yeah. Okay. Well, just 1 second here. Okay, let's just talk a little bit before we do anything else. Remember, we had which parsha was it this time? Tezaveh, right? And before that was which one? Can you hear me?
Truma. Yeah, Truma.
And next week will be which one?
Kitisa.
Kitisa. What's the major thing in Kitisa?
Chet ha'egel.
Oh, it's somebody's at the door. Chet ha'egel. Somebody's at the door. 1 second. So here's my brother. Hold on.
I'll stop the recording.
Go back one more time. Okay. Well, I can't see you. What's happening?
You can't see us on Zoom?
Right. It says crystal clear audio.
Good Jack is there. Hi, Ellie.
Hey, Ellie, weren't you wearing that same sweater yesterday?
You're supposed to know. Yeah.
So awkward. Tequila,
And
I
it's
can't believe you just
recorded.
called her out on that.
Oh, it's being recorded? Sorry.
So
Ellie
It's going
Becker
to the
is an outfit.
archives.
Ellie Becker is an outfit repeater.
Ellie,
That's
I'll
an outfit remember for Tequila Becker.
Altila, weren't you wearing the same glasses yesterday?
That is true. You got
Oh,
me. Jack, how are you doing?
Okay. So let's go start it all over again. So
Okay.
we have Truma, we have Kitisa, and Tezaveh, and the next week is what? Kitisa. And what's the most important part of Kitisa?
Kitisa.
What's the most important thing? It's Egel,
Chet
the Egel
Egel.
story, no? The Egel story, correct? So let's go back one more time. You have Truma, Tezaveh, and Kitisa with the Egel story. So what does Truma and Tezaveh speak about? The creation?
the Mishkan.
The
The
Mishkan.
Mishkan.
Kelim.
Right, creation of the Mishkan. Then comes the story of the Egel. Okay. So which came first? Which came first?
The tzivui for the Mishkan.
The Mishkan. The Mishkan came first, and then came the Egel. Comes Rashi and has an interesting thing here. And if you want to look at it, you can find it in this coming in Parshat Kitisa in Lamed Aleph. Pasuk Yud Chet. Fascinating Rashi. One of the most interesting Rashis you'll come across. Can you guys see me okay?
Yeah,
we can see.
What parak, Saba? Yud Aleph?
Who wants to read it? I know it's just a weird.
What
Who wants to
parak,
read
Saba?
that? Yeah, Rashi. Yeah. Interesting Rashi. Lamed Aleph, Yud Chet.
Oops. Wait. Hold on. Sorry. Tanakh. Shmot. Lamed Aleph.
Wait for that.
Yud Chet. Here.
Okay, who wants to read it? It's interesting Rashi. Go.
Which one?
Vayiten el Moshe.
Vayiten el Moshe. En
Before you go on,
mukdam.
let's read the pasuk.
Oh. ויתן
Go
אל
ahead.
משה ככלותו לדבר איתו בהר סיני שני לוחות העדות, לוחות אבן כתובים באצבע אלוקים.
Okay, this seems almost clear. Oh, well, not just so clear. So there's a Mishkan, and God, so to speak, gives the house in Luchot Evan Ketuvim, and you would think that the Mishkan was, if it wasn't actually built, it was certainly conceived before the Egel. Now, watch this fascinating Rashi. Yud Chet, who wants to read it?
I'll read it. ויתן אל משה וגומר. אין מוקדם ומאוחר בתורה. מעשה העגל קודם לציווי מלאכת המשכן, ימים רבים היה.
Whoa, what is Rashi telling us? That the whole story that we've been doing all these 3 weeks is upside down. The whole story is upside down. First was what?
First was
Rashi.
העגל.
First was the Egel, and then came the Mishkan.
Mhm.
It's an amazing thing that Rashi is doing over here. And what is he basing it on? Ein mukdam l'chol Torah, right?
Mhm.
Now, for that in itself, he has to give you a date line, and we can do that. Let's who wants to read the date line in Rashi.
It's this. Does anyone want to read it?
I could read it. Okay. שהרי בי"ז בתמוז I can't see it. נשתברו הלוחות.
What happens? Wait. So when we fast for Yudzayin B'Tammuz, it's because, of course, the Choma in Yerushalayim was breached, but also, what is it?
The luchot were broken.
Nishtabru halochot. It's fascinating. A very interesting thing too. At that time, also Apostopos, which was a Roman general, burned the Torah, and we fast for that as well. And one of the reasons we fast for that is because many people burned the Torah, but he said, "Look, you Moshe Rabbeinu broke the luchot. I'm doing the same thing. I'm burning the Torah." And why did he break the luchot? Because he didn't behave right. So Apostle Paul said, "How do you behave so right?" And when he is able to say that to us, we fast. We fast. Now Rashi tells us, you know when the luchot were broken? Yudzayin B'Tammuz, that's why you fast. Okay, go ahead.
וביום הכיפורים נתרצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לישראל.
So what happened then? Moshe Rabbeinu comes down from the luchot, breaks them because of the egel. Now he goes up for 40 days into make up with Kadosh Baruch Hu, and Hashem says to him, what? What's the biggest thing on Yom Kippur? Salachti kidvarecha. Remember this? The Chazal said that? Hashem says to Moshe Rabbeinu, Salachti kidvarecha. Take a look at this whole story and what's going on here. How Rashi puts together a beautiful history story. So now Rashi says like this. We know that the egel occurred, and that Moshe Rabbeinu came down. He broke the luchot. When was that? Yudzayin B'Tammuz. When does he go back up? He goes up for 40 days. And when does he come down? Yom Kippurim. We keep going.
ולמחרת התחילו בנדיבת המשכן והוקם באחד בניסן.
No, says Rashi. What are you talking about? They only started building the Mishkan the day after Yom Kippur. Beautiful Rashi. Watch this. You'll hardly feel a Rashi like this. Go ahead.
Shall we read?
Yeah. ולמחרת התחילו בניבת המשכן. Fascinating. Rashi, this whole story is upside down. והוקם. When was the Mishkan built? When was the Mishkan open up?
Nisan.
First of Nisan.
The first day of Nisan. Remember, we have a whole bunch of Korbano, Karat Kesef Achat. The whole story about bringing up the Mishkan was on the first day of Nisan. Says Rashi, Ein Mukdam U'Machar B'Torah. One of the most beautiful Rashi, I think beautiful, most amazing Rashis. Everybody for the past 3 weeks, I'm sure, thought about Truma, Tetzave, and Akitisa leading with the Mishkan. And then comes Egel. Comes Rashi and says, no. First was the Egel, and then came the Mishkan. Now, this is one of the most amazing stories ever. So the Ramban, as you remember, we did this one before, the Ramban in general does not like Ein Mukdam U'Machar B'Torah unless it specifically says that. Okay? But what is Rashi doing? Taking what seems to be almost 100% upside down, no? Now I'm going to ask somebody to be a volunteer to read some of the Chumash that we're going to say, okay? Who wants to volunteer?
To read what, Saba?
We're going to be reading in Pekude. Let's do this. Let's do Perek Lamed Chet, Pasuk, Lamed Tet, Pasuk Aleph.
Hold on.
Just the last part of the Pasuk, please.
I can read.
Go.
It's open.
The last
It's
part.
It's just not open yet, Saba. When it's open, I'll read.
Most amazing thing you're going to see now. No. Lamed Tet Pasuk Aleph. The end. Perek Lamed Tet Pasuk Aleph.
Okay.
What's the
Umin-
last part of the Pasuk?
The last part of the pasuk?
Yeah.
V'yatzu et bigdei hakodesh asher la'aron kasher
Yeah.
tiva Hashem et
The
Moshe.
very last part.
Kasher tiva Hashem et Moshe.
Kasher tiva Hashem et Moshe. Now go down to Pasuk Hey.
Pasuk Hey.
Yes, the last part.
Kasher tiva Hashem et Moshe.
Kasher tiva Hashem et Moshe. Now next Pasuk Vav.
Pasuk Vav.
Yes, the last part.
Tuchei chotem al shmo b'nei
No,
Yisrael.
last part.
Oh, Hey.
Maybe Zion.
Oh,
Oh, Zion. Kasher tiva Hashem et Moshe.
Vav.
Vav, the whole pasuk or just the end? Al shmo b'nei Yisrael.
And we're doing Perek Lamed Tet. First Pasuk was in Pasuk Aleph. The last part of the Pasuk was Kasher Tziva Hashem et Moshe.
Yeah.
Then we took a look at another Pasuk and we went up to Pasuk Hey. And what did it end up with?
Kasher tiva Hashem et Moshe.
Kasher Tziva Hashem et Moshe. Now keep going. Now Pasuk Vav.
It doesn't end with it though. It says Al Shmo B'nai Yisrael.
Vav. What's the end?
Did you hear me, Saba?
I'm sorry, Pasuk Zayin. My mistake. Pasuk
Oh,
Zayin.
okay. Kasher tiva Hashem et Moshe.
Kasher Tziva Hashem et Moshe. Are you getting a little tired of this? Unbelievable. So far, how much time so far? 4. Yeah. Okay. Let's go now to Perek Lamed Tet, Pasuk Kaf Aleph.
Again. Kasher Tiva Hashem.
Kasher Tziva Hashem et Moshe. Is this something going on here? Is this something maybe that okay, I know you're getting tired of this, but let's just go now to Perek Lamed Tet, Pasuk Kaf Tet.
Same thing.
No, say it. It's fascinating. It tells you something. Go
Kasher
ahead.
tiva Hashem et Moshe.
Kasher Tziva Hashem et Moshe is unbelievable. Now go to Pasuk Lamed Aleph.
Kasher tiva Hashem et Moshe.
You think there's a message here? Did anybody count how many times you've done it so far?
Is that 6? 5?
Whatever it is, it's a lot. Okay, one more pasuk in Lamed Tet, Pasuk Lamed Bet.
Kechol asher tiva Hashem et Moshe ken asu.
Okay, there is some message here. You don't say Kasher Tziva Hashem et Moshe 7 times unless there's a message. And that's what drives Rashi really. It's not, of course, Rashi has a whole calendar issue, but there's something else. Anybody have an idea what Kasher Tziva Hashem et Moshe means? You built an egel made of gold. it's only one kind of gold you can make. Kasher tzivah Hashem et Moshe. The reason that you can make the Mishkan according to Rashi is it's a response to the Egel. There is nothing wrong with something being gold. There's nothing wrong with even an image. The Keruvim have an image. They're made of gold. But what was missing?
The tzivur of
Kasher
Hashem.
tzivah Hashem et Moshe. In other words, Rashi says a fascinating thing. Rashi says what? The Mishkan was built as a response to the Egel to teach you there's nothing wrong unless you don't do it in God's name. So Rashi is able to take that whole story and start with Truma and start with its Tezvah and go into the Egel and tell you, no. The Egel came first. And then came the Mishkan. And the Mishkan is a response to the Egel. It's an amazing Rashi. It's an amazing Rashi. And it teaches us that everything we do has to be Kasher tzivah Hashem Moshe. Now, the Ramban totally disagrees with that. Ramban says, no. Ramban, generally, we spoke about before, it doesn't go in the Torah. So, no, the Mishkan's purpose was to continue the story about.
I'm going to have to get back before Mincha. So,
Oh, you're going to? Okay. We'll finish. Okay.
sure.
We're up to, yeah. The Mishkan was built according to Ramban as a continuation of Har Sinai. God did not tell everything to Moshe Rabbeinu Har Sinai. He had to continue the Mishkan. So here we have a magnificent machloket between the Ramban on one side. The purpose of the Mishkan is completely different. According to Ramban, the purpose of the Mishkan is to continue Matan Torah, and that's where God continues to teach Moshe Rabbeinu through the Keruvim. And Rashi says no. It is a response to the Egel. And we learn Kasher tzivah Hashem et Moshe. Human beings cannot create anything, and yet they create everything if God tells them to do this.
Very nice.
Magnificent. I think it's one of the most beautiful
Saba.
Rashi's I've ever seen.
Saba, it reminds me of Nadav Avihu.
Very good. Excellent. Perfect. Yeah. You want to explain it?
Well, it says what they do is very similar to what they did in Yemei Miluim,
Yeah.
but it says Kasher lo tzivah otam.
I sound like a lot of Steve. I didn't realize that.
Kasher lo tzivah otam.
That is a fascinating thing. I didn't make the connection, but you're right. Nadav Avihu, they also bring Ketoret. But I didn't realize that terminology. Lo kasher tzivah Hashem.
Kasher lo
As
tzivah
long
otam.
as it's tzivah Hashem, it's okay. You bring Ketoret, it's okay. But if God didn't say that, it's not. Magnificent Rashi and Ramban. I mean, it's something really fascinating.
Yeah, Saba, my father was just talking about this on Shabbos, actually. He
Really?
was saying how, well, not this specifically, but he was saying how you could be doing the same thing, the same action, and you could have different meanings for it. And then he said he compared Tisha B'Av to Yom Kippur, where you pretty much do the same thing. One of them is a very sad day, one of them is a relatively happy day. So even though you're doing the same thing, you could be doing the same action and still you can have different results.
Beautiful idea. Beautiful idea. And that's basically, I think, what Rashi and Ramban are arguing about here. Not argument, but Ramban says, no, the reason for the Mishkan was the continuation of Har Sinai. And Rashi says, no, that's what Eli just said. You leave? Okay. All right. Wait, 1 second. Okay. Okay. Shalom Aleichem. I'm going to have to say goodbye to Jack.
Love
So
you.
we'll see you next week in Israel.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, Saba. Bye, Jack.
Bye,
Hi,
Jack.
Jack.
I have to